Oh, hello. Let's go. Why the... Honestly, I swear to God, you turn on the microphone, it turns on. You turn the mic on, it seems to turn my dust extractor off. Anyway, it's been a while, and I've not uploaded for a bit. So, I figured I would grab a beer and tell you what's been going on. Work has been somewhat chaotic. And my health, don't worry, I have, this shoulder is frozen. So I've not been filming. Cheers. I have been working, and the Walnut display case is continuing, and I'll show it to you in a second. But because I've been doing what I call, or what I describe as piecemeal work, which is very short stints, I didn't really feel that that was... That's interesting. I'll sit on that. I didn't feel that's very interesting content in any way, shape, or form. So after work, I've been, like 15 minutes, 30 minutes here and there. Very, very gentle. Nothing particularly exciting. So, I don't know where I stopped filming. But I'm at a bit of an impasse, which is kind of interesting. And I'll show you where we're at. Let's do this. The Walnut display case, and this is actually up the wrong way, has progressed quite well. I've added, this was never in the plan that I showed at the start, I've added a couple of braces and a back brace up here, and then I'm adding walnut thins from KJP, the people I order my wood from, which I didn't order enough of, which I just ordered more of. So I'm at the point now where I just need to finish the back and do a whole bunch of sanding to finish it up. Now, I have used the filler that I used before on the gate, and it does leave white streaks, especially down here. So I need to do a little bit of... Ooh, that's a big old glue squeeze out that I'm going to have to clean. I was going to paint this actually white, and then I was going to distress it somewhat. I was going to prime it and then paint it white, and then a different colour. Then I was going to back it off to make it look like it was distressed. Looking at it, I don't think I need to do that. I think I have enough areas where I can get away even with the filler, which is a bit white. I think I can go my normal route. Sorry. This middle brace looks like it's crooked, but it's just the light. Or it better be bloody light, otherwise I've really fucked up. I think that it's going to stay as walnut. Now the original plan, obviously, or not obviously to you, but obviously to me, I glued that in pissed. Oh, you motherfucker. I'm going to glue that in pissed. Asshole. Where you go? No, okay, it's a bit... Great, the middle brace is a bit pissed. Okay. Here comes the flush cut saw. Cut that out. Redo it again. Because I'm looking at him like, oh, it's just the lighting. No, it glued in fucking crooked. Piece of shit. And this is why you don't film half your mistakes. So I'm going to get the braces. I'm going to get these off of this. I know these are straight. And I'm going to do a little bit of sanding for a little bit. Not much, because I can't do too much with the shoulder, but let's do some work. I'll pretend to do some work. Like, I'm going to pretend to be... Yeah, this light does that. I'm going to pretend to be somewhat functional. And when I say somewhat, I mean actually somewhat. How the fuck did I glue that in? Pissed. I think someone may have been drinking when they did that. Now my choice is obviously to go fix this or call it a feature piece. But as it's going to annoy the absolute living shit out of me, I don't think we're going to do that. Yeah. How did I glue that in? Pissed. I was really careful. Looking at it, not that you can see it because I'm looking at it, apart from a bunch of glue cleanup, the filler that I use, which is the same stuff I used on the gate, isn't that bad. Well, that corner is absolutely fucking awful. It needs a good sanding, but I think I could possibly, famous last words, get away with it. I am definitely not sticking with that though. It'd be hard to show you, but I'll try. Let's go down. Burp. There you go. This is completely cockeyed. Bad. Although you're not getting the best angle of it, that is cack. I am not going to live with that. I even marked the middle line and I was very careful, and I know the wood's straight, but that glued in pissed. So that is coming out, is going to get replaced. So if that's my one job this evening, because that's probably about the only thing I can do without hurting myself, that is coming out. So this is getting flipped over, and it's going to get, that is going to get removed and then replaced. I was really careful when I did that, but apparently I wasn't careful enough. Also, what did annoy me when I did put this in, is even though it's at the back, I did chip it. I need to fix that. I did chip it a little bit, and even though it's at the back and you won't see it, it does kind of annoy me a little bit. So I feel that no project in this basement is fully complete without making some absolute hash of it and then having to cut out a piece of wood and then replace it. Thankfully it's my left arm that's knackered, not my right arm, because my right arm is my sawing arm. Flush cut saws are actually pull saws, so they cut on the pull rather than on the inward stroke. Obviously, because this is a much like you saw on the when I had to cut the joint on the gate, it takes a little bit of patience. and the joint gets really tight. So it ends up being sometimes a little bit of a struggle to actually split a joint. Also, as this is about an inch and a half, it's only about 3/4 of an inch thick, but as it's about an inch and a half actually deep, it's gonna. Okay, I need to really sort that out. Yeah, I need to really sort that out. Come on, seriously. What the fuck is going on with you? You should be good. I've lost a light over my side bench, which I have to replace, and I think these things have like 10,000 hours on them. Like that was the bulb rating, but apparently, I spent a lot of time down here. Let's start on this as well. And I understand this isn't the most interesting content, watching me saw something, but I might have to attack this from both sides, which I don't think is going to work from that side because I don't have enough depth. Excellent. But this brace was actually kind of an afterthought. I'm like, you know what, I don't want it to sag, but then again, because I'm pinning through these walnut thins, which are a 1/4 inch thick, it's going to support it anyway. When I say pin, I'm using 16 gauge nails and I'm gluing them, but it should be okay. So realistically, this doesn't have to get replaced. And it was me just messing around anyway. I'll take this from the bottom a little bit. You have to attack this on all sides to get this one out. Do you know, it wouldn't be a dowsing project without some... I should go back to making cutting boards, it's easier. Without some level of fuck-uppery. But this is always, I hate when it does that. This is a learning process. Right, I've always said this. It's like, you know what? I could live with it, but no. How far am I doing this? And the best thing about Type 1 3 kids is, can I actually hit that? No, I'm not going to be able to hit that. I'm going to have to, pull a hammer out, which I don't really want to do. Let's try and cause, this Friday, let's try and cause as little disruption as humanly possible. This would be easier if my shoulder wasn't absolutely my left shoulder wasn't completely fucked. Also, it helped if this workbench wasn't quite so wobbly. Now, on the cutting board front, no. I got a bit of cleanup. So, on the cutting board front, I do have a couple of cutting boards that I do need to actually, not too many saw marks in that. I do have a couple of I think with some careful sanding, where's the most dangerous tool in the workshop? Let's see. I think with some careful sanding, I can get it to the point where I can finish this. Where is it? Where's the blue? Oh, it's there. I think I can finish this quite well. Use Type Bond 3, it's the best glue. Yeah, it's also, if you glue something and then forget to come down here and clean the crap out of it, well, it's still a little bit tacky. Which is interesting, this has been down here for a couple of days. Normally, with Type Bond, you are screwed. No. Yes, I might be able to get out. Well, it has been quite damp, so maybe it's not drying perfectly. That's an interesting line that shouldn't be there. Yeah, maybe with a little bit of very careful hand sanding. I'm going to switch to a normal chisel. I'll be able to get around I will be able to get around the slightly white patches. Now, I've still got a bit of a gap in a few places. I've just been made aware from another woodworking friend of mine that there is such a thing called walnut filler. There is a filler that you can basically colour match to your walnut. If I do another walnut piece of furniture, I will be investing upon that. This is super elastic. I will be investing in that because that stuff I'm using is crap and I don't like it. It's too much, far too much cleanup and far too much colour difference. That is good. Oh, well, that's going to be a bitch. No, it's not. Far too much cleanup and far too much colour difference for my taste. Now, I'm not selling this. This is purely for me to store some stuff. So I guess I shouldn't be quite so exacting, but you know, I think you know me by now that I'm a little bit anal. Oh, I might be able to get rid of some of this just by being very careful with the chisel. This is actually the worst. Okay. To get the chisel at the right angle, I need to get a whetstone and actually sharpen my chisels, because these are. This one is blunt as. Yes, blunt. Need the same as. Let's go to another one. That probably hasn't been quite so abused. Yeah, this one hasn't been quite so abused. That'll be another fun video. I need to learn how to sharpen chisels, because I do find myself using chisels more and more these days, actually. And they're one of those tools that you really need to pay attention to, and you really need to sharpen. But as I've never learned, it's something I've never learned. I've sharpened knives and stuff, but I've never sharpened chisels. I've watched a bunch of really good videos on it. And I quite like these full of chisels. It's the same thing. Chisels for me are it's the Adam Savage rule of buy the cheapest tool you can, and if you use it and then you break it, invest. And I find myself using chisels more and more these days, because they are very useful implements, but I don't look after them like I should. And I know that chisels need maintenance after you use them. I've never been at the point of actually having to sharpen them, but now I find that I'm using them more and more. See, that looks better. That I find that I'm going to have to do some maintenance. So yeah, that'll be a fun adventure. At some point I'm actually going to invest in a proper set of woodworking chisels, and then I might be slightly more motivated to maintain them properly. That is nicer as well. So I might be able to get away with not painting this. So I was going to paint in weather, but maybe I can get away with it. I have a lot of sanding. I have a lot of hand sanding to do. And I know my girlfriend will be happier if I keep this somewhat natural, considering it's probably about $400 worth of bloody walnut. Just for a learning experience. We'll see. So that's it. It's been a long week. Work is busy. Which is why you've not seen very many frequent uploads. Also, I obviously played a bunch of. There was a game from Rebellion called Atom 4, which is on the channel, that I did a couple of playthroughs through, because that's my bread and butter. That's what I do for a living, and that game really hooked me. So I did spend a weekend absolutely monstering that, which I enjoyed massively. Rebellion did a very good job. I know full well that this corner here, unless I sand it all the way down, which means sanding everything, it's always going to have this white sploosh on it, and you put horse oil on this, It's not going to look right. But that is a problem for another day. Fuck, did I get glue all over that? Oh Jesus. How did I do that? Don't drink and glue, kids, because I'm going to have to sort that out. So there's the update. That was meant to be a 5-minute video that ended up being a 30-minute. That's the update. It's getting there. Slowly. Very fucking slowly. But it's getting there. Oh, hello. Hello. Sorry. Daddy was going to stop, but Daddy just found something. What is that? Oh, that's a pinhead. Fuck it. Here. I need to turn my compressor off. But that's it. It's getting there. The Walnut display case is getting there. Is it perfect? No. Is it a learning experience? Yes. I'm going to route this to give it some kind of thing. I'm going to route this to give it some kind of thing. These are going to stay flat. I'm going to do some sanding. These need a little bit more cleanup. I did route all these edges. It's going to look okay when it's done. Not perfect. And the lighting's horrible in here right now. So stay tuned. Again, sorry for the slow updates, but this don't work. So I had to fix this and then we'll try and get back to the usual schedule. Peace. Take care. I'll see you soon. Fucking Ram Jam Black Betty. Bam-a-liam. Today, stations. Today we've bought some sanding blocks from Sia sponge block, and they're angled, 2 different types, because I need to get the filler out. So I'm going to do some sanding. Well, my shoulder's douche, but you know, Saturday afternoon, got to do something. I did also buy a new sander today, but it won't turn up for 10 days, which kind of sucks. We have the time, and yet I find, I want to turn to no place to go home. Gift of selfless rage, treasure just Voodoo. Voodoo. Right. Can't do much more. My shoulder's hurting and my back's starting to go. Not using this filler again. It really is going to make my life a hard. Anything else? I think I might have to stain this thing black. Peace.